I was doing some garden work. We're about to leave this place in 2 days. 3 days. So I was finishing up with the hedge and everything. But then all of a sudden this question came to my mind that was commented on the previous video. What is the benefit of boredom? Two persons asked this question on the previous video, Mark and a slush. These two people, they occupy certain amount of a space in my brain, so I thought maybe it's nice to talk about this question and give some back to the audience. It's a tricky concept, this boredom. It's really hard to understand it. We often associate not having anything to do, not getting enough brain stimulation, being bored. But in fact, boredom happens after a few hours of not doing anything. Your boredom is like happens instantly when you don't do anything. Your boredom happens instantly when you don't check your phone. But the boredom that I'm talking about is painful. When you allow that boredom, that you think you are bored and you gotta do something about it, after a few hours, you will reach to this peak of not doing anything, but at the same time, your brain cannot really simply shut up. It continues processing, it continues talking to you, it continues thinking, bringing new ideas, daydreaming. Whatever comes across your mind, you will take that thread and go as much as you can. And this is the pain. This is the pain that we have to go through when we want to get bored. A few hours of not doing anything, but then going through the pain of your mind, your constant chattering of give me something, nagging for the stimulation, nagging for coping mechanism, nagging for reward, nagging for dopamine, because your brain is just fully broken. Your dopamine level, your dopamine tank is completely broken, continuously releasing dopamine. So in this video, I want to tell you what's the benefit of boredom. But you need to prepare yourself to be bored. When you ask me what is the benefit of boredom, you simply put this responsibility on me that if I explain well what's the benefit of boredom, then perhaps you will try to become bored and get to that benefit if that benefit is along aligned with your lifestyle or worldview. You don't want to put the work to become bored, or at least perhaps you think there is no benefit in boredom. So I will tell you about my own story, how I got to this boredom state, and what it offered me. When I discovered meditation, it felt so good that I wanted to have more of this goodness. So I kept meditating every day as long as I could, which was around 10 hours every day. But then after a while, I meditated differently. And the difference was I did not follow any method anymore. I was tired of all the practices. I've done as many methods and practices was available, perhaps on the internet or books. I was pretty much tired of all of these practices, these methods, because all of them seemed was so limiting. They were great, they were awesome, but then you would reach to a point that you could not go beyond that. That practice does not allow you to go beyond that. So I decided to do nothing for 10 hours instead of following certain practices, methods, patterns, habits. I thought to myself that I'm a meditator. Doing nothing for me for 10 hours is just simple. I've been sitting for 10 hours and meditating. How can doing nothing can be harder than that? So I will do nothing for 10 hours. Which here the pain started. Doing nothing is much harder than meditating. That's just simply because you allow your brain to process thoughts in a different way. So meditation was not painful for me. But doing nothing, so painful. As if I just started meditating. As if I'm just like going through that practice of being able to sit still. Because then you have to go through that pain to be able to sit 10 hours and meditate, right? That's why I thought doing nothing would be like much easier. But then this time I did not have anything to cling on, like any practice, any method, anything to bring myself back to it. Because all the practices are good because they allow you to come back to something. And that's why we try to use the methods to make it easier for us to be able to reach a certain level of awareness. But then if you want to go beyond that, you need to allow your lifestyle, you need to allow your being becomes meditative. Then you need to be able to participate in anything you do in life and be meditative. Which this is what boredom has to offer. No matter how many hours you sit and meditate, you will still not be able to pass boredom. You will still need some sort of stimulation during the time that you're not meditating. Most people don't meditate at all. Most people simply don't even give 1 minute for their meditation. But let's say you are meditating. When you learn how to be bored, you can be a great dishwasher. If you learn how to be bored, you can be a great cleaner, a great farmer, a great carpenter, a great craftsman. Craftsman? What? Craftsman. Yeah. Is the craftsman the person that crafts the stuff? I don't know, but you know what I'm trying to say. Some master of some craft. Why? Because you simply live in the mundane, you simply live in the routine and not get bored. then you don't need to stimulate your brain so much to be able to achieve certain goals in life. That's boredom what has to offer. You can simply go live in a tent, middle of some unknown forest or jungle, and feel content for the rest of your life. So I decided to do nothing, right? 10 hours of doing nothing. The pain of my boredom started coming in. So I simply was just sitting, walking, doing anything I could in that area that I was meditating. I was usually going to the really nice hill with a really nice view over a lake, and I had a spot that was meditation spot for me. So 10 hours of just being there, doing nothing. And slowly you find yourself going mad, crazy, talking to the trees, to the plants, because you're just simply bored. And that's what happens when you get bored, right? You do also the weird things when you're bored. But that simply allowed me to be part of that area, to be part of that nature, to be simply in the process of what's really happening here, what's really going on here. This pain of boredom simply gave its place to peak boredom. That's where I call it peak boredom. One step beyond that, you will fall off that peak. And that's where everything becomes luminant. That's everything becomes energetically available to you. Then perhaps you can see infrared, you know. It's not all your regular vision. You can see so many other radio waves. Why do you ask? Why don't you just simply get bored? What stops you? I'm pretty sure you've been bored before, and I'm pretty sure the only way that you can ask this question is that, well, there is no benefit in boredom. Like, why do you say? It doesn't matter what I say. Honestly, it doesn't matter what I say. I can be talking for the next 5 hours about it, and there will be another 50 hours that I might be able to talk about it. But that does not matter, you know. Until you try it yourself, my words really not going to help you. And then after you try and perhaps you hit some blockages, obstacles, problems, issues, then come to me and ask me, yo, I'm getting bored and this is happening to me. I don't understand. then perhaps I can help you. But at this point, I can't help you. You gotta get bored. And gladly, I will provide certain ways for you to get bored. But again, it's all up to you. If you don't get bored on your own supply, everything else is just entertainment. Everything else is just some sort of way for you to procrastinate this whole goal of self-realization. I think this is the last video I'm recording here in this place. I'm flying in this weekend. There are so many other benefits to boredom as well, in terms of giving a chance to your brain to simply rewire yourself. So allow yourself to be bored, allow yourself not to consume digital stimulation, because that's worth kind of a stimulation for your brain. And to understand that it's just simply, it's because it's our creation. That means it's a lower state of consciousness. But then if you rely on higher state of consciousness, you can look at the creation that it was here before you and it will be here after you. And if you observe that, if you let yourself to be in that environment, if you let yourself to be in the higher consciousness, perhaps you're also lucky enough to be able to upgrade your brain to a state that you will also have an X-ray vision, you know. It's not something that you only watch in the movies. Maybe you acquire that ability because your brain is capable of doing it. I think I will let you go. Thank you for being here today. Really appreciate it. Bye.